Numerous outlets have been speaking about the RAM shortage causing a reduction of necessary resources used for crafting technological hardware such as smartphones, computers, and gaming consoles. With projected prices increasing for these pieces of hardware that some would say we have taken for granted, what does this mean for us ultimately? Wav3y God and I talk about it right now. Let's get started. What's good, squad? Welcome into another episode of Fukapod, Fukaname product. Find us all across the web at Fukaname, P-H-U-C-A-N-A-M-E. Check out our other episodes of our podcast across the web. Follow us and rate us 5 stars so we can continue to bring these squad vibes to you. I'm your host, Frosty Phoenix. Catch me across the web at Frosty Phoenix, F-R-O-S-T-Y-P-H-E-N-I-X.
Hey.
Here with the usual squad spec. Squad, introduce yourself and where people can find you on these interwebs.
What is goody, y'all? As you can see, I got a new mic here, but that's another topic. You know what I mean? But, shout out, it's your boy Wav3y God here, the waviest blurred ever. You already know the sneaker lover, anime watcher, the video game player. You know what I'm saying? It's a new year, 2026, the first podcast episode for 2026. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of stuff in store for y'all this year. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hit y'all over the head with some more content, more consistency and all that kind of stuff. But y'all make sure to follow us on all our social medias. Subscribe to us over on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Follow all of us individually if you want to as well. And of course, rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify podcast and wherever else you listen. You know what I'm saying? And spread the word out to the homies. You know what I'm saying? Because we got something that no one else got. You feel me? So
there you go. But I will say, a lot of us won't be doing anything technologically related if this keeps up, and the content and topic that we're bringing for you guys today.
Man, that's a set, yo. That's why you listen to. That's why you rate this podcast 5 stars, because the segue is like that. Who else are you getting that? You're not getting that nowhere. Continue, Frosty. My bad.
And that would be the RAM shortage, random access memory, the thing that empowers a lot of our computers to do what they do, along with everything else, right? So, as you all know, there's been a scare RAM shortage for different reasons. Well, not even say different reasons, but for different components, different aspects of technology across society right now. People are a little shooketh, but that's because all the components are going towards AI and AI
the dreadful 2-letter acronym.
At first, you would think AI is something that people would want to embrace because that would make people's lives easier. But we've seen iRobot, Matrix, Terminator, any other technological movie you could probably
go
think
on
of.
and on. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's the only time. Cause there's a lot of times that a lot of gamers or whoever that's on the internet, they be saying stuff about slop. It is the only time I will ever be on y'all side when y'all say AI slop. And a lot of the time it is AI slop. You know what I'm saying? And you should push the creators to create like not from the ground up, because the ground up is definitely great. AI can help with some stuff, but I mean, like doing it all AI. All right, when y'all say AI slop, I agree with y'all on that part. But everything else, when y'all say slop, y'all doing way too much. But this time, I agree with y'all.
Don't allow it to take away your creativity. Allow it to assist your creativity.
Basically. There you go. That's what I was trying to say.
So, first part of the news. Micron VP of Marketing, Christopher Moore, spoke recently on a technology interview, speculating that we won't see prices decrease for any up-and-coming technology. So we're talking computers, consoles, phones, though there are reports that phone prices will not go up. We won't have to worry about that probably this year, but that could probably change at any time. We wouldn't see any price decreases for any up-and-coming technology until 2028.
Now, mind you, sounds all right. And that date is very important. So y'all keep that in mind. That date is very important.
What, 2028?
Yep.
Why is it important?
Oh, just another topic we got in the episode about like certain delays and whatnot. So
right, and the hope would be the number before it, but like you said, again, we might be leading toward. Good job. You done got me. Hold up. You tripped me up real quick. I appreciate that. I'm going to keep rolling with you. You're absolutely right. That is actually a very important number. I'm like, wait a minute. Where are you going? You right.
And I try sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Micron is the only American-based producer of computer memory components. Now, Microsoft is a computer manufacturer. Micron is the only American-based producer of computer memory components, right? The company broke ground in Idaho at their ID1 facility 3 years ago.
What is in Idaho?
This facility among vast amounts of space and material or whatever.
The only building in Idaho with mad cornfield. Everybody knows this building. Everybody knows someone that works in that building in Idaho.
You won't be able to miss it, right? They built their facility 3 years ago and it won't go into operation until mid-2027. Meaning, when we're talking about components, basically like in abundance, if there's only a few companies that are making the components that you need for different things, of course the prices are going to go up for overall production. Now, when you have more facilities to make more things, then the prices can overall spread out a little bit because of demand, rate of production for those particular things, right? And this is across all things: food, technology, clothes, all that kind of stuff. The more abundant resources that you have or places you can facilitate those things, the prices can either increase or decrease depending on the output.
Oh yeah.
Now, ID1 is technology that's used for industrial AI image analysis and manufacturing, video games being part of that, right? Right. But before we get to the video game part, the main component and the thing you're probably listening to this podcast on, smartphone or a computer, Wavy.
I mean, damn, that was really good, man. I wasn't ready for that, but let's go. All right. But yeah, man, like Frosty said, man, I will say, and I think this has been going around in the internet for a while too, that like, if you're actually trying to get into PC gaming right now and trying to build a BC PC, either you're going to be balling to get the best parts or you're going to try to build that mid-tier, which, I mean, in the same breath, a gaming console is basically a PC for the most part. It's just a mid-tier PC or lower-end PC. So if you're building a PC that's like mid-tier, you're probably going to build one that's like on like the same kind of specs and stuff as the PS5 and Xbox Series. But I mean, most people get that kind of stuff to go above and beyond when you get a PC. So my thing is, like, these parts is just going up and up and up. And we've been seeing that since late last year. Late 2025, we've been seeing that. This is the RAM shortage. Everything's going up. Like, I think certain RAMs have, like, tripled in price, quadrupled in price. Like, it's been, like, we've been posting everywhere. Y'all make sure y'all follow us. Make sure y'all follow us over on Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky, everywhere. You know, we dropping just for y'all everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we even dropped that, like, even the GPUs from NVIDIA and AMD, they're going to be seeing significant price increase this year. Like, according to, like, Nooses, a source, website Nooses, the consumer GPUs, including the GeForce, the RTX 50 series, and the Radeon RX 9000 series, will be getting a significant price increase with possible, like, other lines. Like for example, the RTX 5090, that could be going to $5,000 later on this year. That's it's a crazy price, man.
I'm sorry, that moved me backwards. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a rumor because I don't think it didn't really come out yet. Like, they have to take that with a grain of salt. It's a rumor and stuff like that, but still, like, $5,000 for a GPU, and that's a GPU. That's a GPU. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's what you need to, like, compress the graphics in your PC. If you would want the most BC one, but if it's for that price, you might think twice about it. Unless you, like I said, unless you bowling. And, like, apparently both companies you're gonna be seeing significant price increases like every other month. Apparently, because of the shortage.
Right.
And that's not even the worst part.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you know, even today, I think it came out today even that, like, the like according to like them YouTube, shout out to the YouTube channel, Hardware Unbox, and of course, there's another rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But if y'all follow us, y'all saw we posted that Nvidia is looking to officially cease the supply of the RTX 5070 and 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte graphic cards, and the 5070 12 gigabyte one maybe next to cease to exist, or for at least have a reduced supply. You know, they basically are all on a chopping block and will maybe be on the end of life status. But for some reason, the 5070 and 5060 8 gigabit ones will still be at large, or still be processed and made. Which 8 gigabytes of RAM, you can't do nothing with that. So
you probably can't even surf Facebook with that.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're like, I think for the most part, back in like when PC gaming was on the rise, I'll say like maybe 2013, 2015, you can get away with like 16 gigabytes of RAM, maybe 8 gigabytes of RAM, depending, probably 16 gigs, because the games then were like they were still using a lot of stuff. But now, I'm pretty sure like most PCs, you'd want to get the base you want to get is like 32 gigabytes of RAM, and with that, probably cease to existing or that going up in price, it's gonna be pretty hard just to get that that level of RAM again and everything. So yeah, it's looking real spooky out here. And on top of that, like things just keep coming out the blue, man. Because even with that, like, I guess obviously Nvidia, because they know like the GPU shortage is happening. So not even bringing back the GeForce RTX 3060 series. That's a 5-year-old graphics card. They're bringing that back to kind of combat with the current GPU shortage, which I've seen mixed replies about it online. There was replies like, okay, it's still like the same kind of push as like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, so that's okay. But it's like other ones is like, why are you bringing back a 5-year-old GPU, like, and y'all doing all this shortage of the RAM because y'all want to build these AI data centers and stuff. This is a lot of mixed responses and stuff. But technically, it's a 5-year-old. It's a 5-year-old GPU, so it is like it is like probably the same output as the current gen consoles, but still, like I said, looking real spooky out here, man. Looking real spooky out here.
Spoon, we're going further on the use conversation, right? Because we're talking about computers backing back up to more casual use, which is a console, right?
Yeah.
And we always talk here about the next generations of consoles. We're already only into year 5, like the halfway point for PS5, Xbox Series. Of course, we've also talked about the Steam box on the horizon. Nintendo Switch is going to be okay because that just came out last year, so that's going to have some life on it. A lot of people probably want to acquire that. Look, I mean, it's newer. It's got some time to flesh out. Whether or not they increase prices and all that stuff with Nintendo is another conversation for another time.
It's newer and stuff, but like y'all know Nintendo don't be like putting no oomph into that software. Into the hardware, and the hardware, my bad, the hardware.
But even in this conversation we're talking about right now, even if they don't, you're gonna have to, and this is for all of us, you're gonna have to be okay with mid.
If you buy Nintendo products, you are dealing with mid.
So now everybody's about to be at the same pace. Okay?
That's also very true. Like I said, unless you got it like that, yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into the possible console stakes we're talking about and what the companies may have to decide to do, especially for Sony, Wavy Mind, I think on Threads, we put out a question, with the cost of RAM, GPU, and everything else skyrocketing, do you think that gaming as a whole will take a little of a hit financially? And we had a few comments for that. The Get Good Girl, shout out to you.
Yeah, she's been following us for a minute, and she be commenting on a lot of our stuff. So shout out to you, man. Like,
yes, she do.
For real.
to your question, to the question that we put out, do you think that gaming as a whole will take a little of a hit financially? She said yes, and that is why we need help to destroy AI.
So she came with a pitchfork and a sign: "Destroy AI now."
I'm imagining, good girl. Imagine you saying it like that. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Like fist in the air, like Dinkelberg. Who is Aura Palmer? No. PC builds last for a long time, and no one needs to upgrade right now. People will still buy games, and consoles still exist. So
that is a fact, because PCs do last for a long. That's why these graphics cards, they do last for a minute. Like, unless you really, really want the graphics card, you don't really need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you were still at 3060, you're fine. But I mean, if you want the newest, the 5060, I mean, that's like the one that's like will get you to that next umph, But they do last a while, so you should be fine if you have like a good one. You don't need to upgrade. So he's right. They're right.
You don't need it, right? It's a preference at that point.
You're right.
Zilla said hardware, yes. Game software, no. Most games still only make use of the DDR4 speeds and the 3000 GPU chipsets. 4 and 5000 GPU and DDR5 sticks only gave you more flex, but you will see increase in any increase in any machines or tools that rely on the hardware to go up in price.
Oh yeah. We definitely commented back too. Like, that price is definitely gonna hike. The hike is gonna happen regardless. Like, if they depend on that newer hardware, yes, they will go up in price. Yes.
And then Curtis Robertson 308 said, "You just take a deep breath and prepare to spend GPU money on system memory, then storage, then hope you can catch up in time to get an actual GPU if you need it." Wow.
I mean, from what I heard, it just said, just be prepared to sell out the big bucks. That just sounds like either that or save your money and see if you get if that save that you have will be enough to get the actual GPU that you want.
Right. Start budgeting, people.
Be responsible.
So, and speaking of that, we're back to the console part of the conversation, because like there were a couple times we mentioned about computers versus console in general. According to previous leaks about Sony and the PS6, because we're looking at next generation consoles, right? Sony was possibly targeting a November 2027 release for the PS6.
I think it says Sony and PS6 and not Sony and Xbox.
No, I didn't. I meant to say Sony. Oh, did I say no? Sony was targeting a number. Sony was targeting a November 2027 release for the PS6.
Yeah.
Now we don't know about Xbox. We don't know what they have planned. That's a whole conversation for another time. Of course, we talked about them wanting to lean into, was it cloud-based gaming and all that kind of stuff, or they're looking at a console, but nothing yet. As of this podcast, I believe there's going to be an Xbox showcase.
There will be a developer direct on, when is that? We had that down. We did share that. When is that coming out? That comes out on, y'all wait for us to get this real quick. It comes out on January 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific. So is that, I think, because they had that. They've been having that for a minute now. Since I won't say since 2021, literally right in the middle of like on the little end of of COVID. They've been doing the developer direct. As you know, the first one is where they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes.
Great game. So, but they've been doing that every year, around this time. So the people are expecting that now, and that one is gonna have 3. Well, it's a rumor to have 4 games there, but we know 3 for sure. It's gonna be Forza Horizon 6, Fable, finally, and then we got Beast of Reincarnation, aka Game Freak's new game.
Oh yeah.
I want to see what that's going to be about, because what did Noob say?
Pokemon, they said.
Right, what did Noob say? Give Game Freak a break.
Yes, he did say that. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Noob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was the fourth? Did you say 4?
It's a rumor to be a fourth one, but we don't know what it is though. Cause shout out to Leaker Shinobi. He's on. They're on like a lot of like on like damn near every social media. They have a lot of like rumors. A lot of stuff be like official. Them and Jason Shirai is way more official, but Shinobi has some good leaks and stuff like that. But they were saying that this could be a fourth game over there. We just don't know what it is yet.
Gotcha.
So, people are speculating. I don't remember the speculations that I've been hearing though. So, but I'm hyped for it. I want to see what they got in store for this year.
Right. We'll see. So but 2 of those titles, well, all 3 are have quite a lot of potential.
I mean, Forza can miss me. I don't care about that.
I was gonna say, look, I tried to. Okay, I mean,
I don't do racing.
I feel
games.
the same. I don't.
The racing games
either,
I do is Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing. That's all I do.
Shout out to y'all who do. I like you said, same wavy. I'm not big on that aspect of it. I play only close racing games. You said I play Mario Kart and the racing games at the arcade. If I have a little chump change, that's some time to run.
I mean, I feel that. I will say, Nintendo, Rare. Oh, I know Rare's under Microsoft now. Don't know why, but Diddy Kong Racing, please remaster or remake, please. That was a really good game. Please, I would really want that. I think it can sell really well, actually. So,
and especially with Bonanza's success. But anyway, anyway.
Game of the year nominee, right?
Look, Donkey Kong is selling. I'm just kidding. We all know. I mean, look, might already had this thought in mind. But for all these companies, for Sony, for Microsoft, any companies looking to make these consoles in the future, especially the Steam machine, 3 things to really think about, right? Especially for Sony, only for this note because we know what they have coming. The company will have to consider one of 3 things: sticking to the leaked release, if the leaked release is true, in 2027 or maybe early 2028, whatever. Hiking the price of the console up to meet demand of making their money back. Companies do. You create the thing.
That won't work. I don't think so anyway.
Yeah, you create the thing, and Wavy said, it doesn't work, but you got to create the thing, sell it back to people in doubles to make your money back, and then some to be able to pay the manufacturing back. For business. Now, the second option people might say, do this one, is keeping whatever the planned price is and whatever the planned date is and taking a final financial hit as a company. Now, mind you, that could hurt tremendously. We're talking about the big L word that we try to avoid when we're talking about these kinds of industries: layoffs.
Yes. Layoffs, the dreaded word. Which you already got some of those recently this year anyway.
So if the company would take hits, and then as we do know, it's not news, it's not a slur or anything to anybody. Companies think about the bottom line, and the overall survival of it is necessary. Now, some execs do take hits, depending on what's going on now. Be not great because nobody wants to lose the money that they use for their livelihood. But the company taking hits could affect things on a pretty decent scale when we're talking about all the employees and just overall the company's value.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the third option, and from what we understand in general, based on this information, delaying its creation entirely until the shortage is curbed.
I mean,
pushing
that
it back
is
to indefinite date until we can see where we're going with these resources.
I mean, that's what the article said from Insider Gaming. That basically, like, the console manufacturers, they're thinking about doing that. They're thinking about just delaying it until this shortage doesn't happen, or it's not happening anymore. Which, to me, that makes the most sense, because if you think about it, they're bringing the main reason people get consoles is mainly because you put it in your living room, you plug and play. But the second option is the price. The price is what makes it is what makes it affordable to some people. You know what I'm saying? Plus the plug and play is the biggest option. The biggest the biggest advantage. But it's like even with the PS5 Pro that came out, that joint was $700. People still paid for it and stuff. But if that's gonna be the new norm, you're sneaking up on PC prices. And at that point, if you want to get more bang for your buck, you might as well just get that PC. And I won't even blame you if you do, because you made more bang for your buck and everything. But yeah, I think that's why they're probably leaning toward more of that, delaying it, because they know that if they don't delay it and they just rush it out the door and they try to like do that second option or that first option and like hike up the price, it's not gonna sell like that. Like if you don't get a PS6 for like $800, I'm like y'all better have a brick of gold in that box with it, and like the most exclusives I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a lot to sell a console for like almost $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Because like even with these, they're like probably the most. Actually, no, PS3 was probably the most actually, which I still don't understand that actually. That $600. That was crazy. But yeah, I can see them definitely doing like the delaying it, because all these companies take a hit. They always take a hit for the consoles, because like they're just selling them at a lesser price than what they make them for. But that's just to sell them. And how do they get us back? Games, DLC, microtransactions, all the other kind of stuff. So, you know,
if the consoles don't move, these gaming companies are going to have to fall back hard on whatever possible plans they are counting on for specs for future consoles, meaning future games might not be as impressive as they have been in the recent generation. We might be looking at current generation for a long time when it comes to details. And don't be trying to push the PlayStation, the PS5, and the Series X2 like beyond its capacity. We're talking about graphics capabilities, function capabilities, and all that stuff, because the games that are being worked on are meant for the next generation.
I mean, yeah, we've seen that already with this generation. Shout out to all my PS4. No shout out to y'all. No shout out to y'all at all.
Ouch.
Look, man, I get it, man. When the PS5 first dropped and all that kind of stuff, it was hard to get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You probably had like 5 years to save up and all that.
Personally, I got it as a gift.
See, I mean, you got it as a gift too. You know what I'm saying? But you probably would have saved up for it just to get it.
And like we talk about, this is a little bit of a tangent. The only reason I even accepted it or I talked about it, I didn't talk about it really. I'm from that camp of people, and we've seen the jokes. We've talked about it here on the podcast. When you try to run anything on your PS4 that was a little updated past its prime, you get the airplane mode that you didn't ask like for.
Dog, like I swear, and it was crazy because like even in like the pandemic when Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima came out, for some reason those didn't really that didn't really happen with those. Unless they did, I don't remember. I don't remember them that happening with those two games. Yeah. I remember actually them running really, really fine on the PS4. But yeah, most games is like an airplane taking off. You almost at LaGuardia Airport and shit. Yeah. Like right
past
there,
Philadelphia International, just like, where you going? Yeah, I forget the game that I was playing, but I know I had heard it on my own console. So we also know about, in general, planned obsolescence. Look, these things are made to eventually be replaced, right? And so I received it as a gift from my then fiance, now wife, and one of my best friends, right?
Hey, that's a great gift.
Yeah, and recently had to clean it out. That's another conversation entirely. Just in general, please clean out your consoles, especially now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely now. Yeah, you should have been doing it before, but definitely now. Like
you got to hold on to that joint now for a while. So now you're gonna have to really give it that good, the vacuum, get the cleaning set, and open that joint up and keep it as pristine as possible.
Yeah, how long you gonna have that?
Right. Exactly.
at the same time, do you think that these companies have like actually like tapped into the actual potential of these current gen consoles yet?
That's a good question. Like how because the question would be like, if they hadn't already, then why are we already looking at the next generation of consoles, right?
Like because it's going to tradition, 7 years lifespan, tradition. That's all it is. That's, to me, that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think pushing it past its capabilities. Have we reached the maximum capabilities for these consoles? I think to a degree, yes. But I think when we're talking about, like, say, when you have a plate of food and do you see the bottom of the plate anymore? Like for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holiday, like, no, cool. You can either go back for seconds or whatever. I think it's at its highest capacity now, and then anything else would start pushing it into the territory we're talking about with the PS4, with the airplane sounding effects, because you're starting to push something more like Ghosts of Yotes, right? Like some of the games that we see that are possibly coming out, the video displays that we do see, Witcher 4, like in the bottom, it would either be captured on a PC display or a PlayStation 5 display.
It's mostly always PC display. A PC, and I've seen that when they started doing that too. Like I want to say 2017, 2018, they started doing that. Maybe 2016, they started doing like that little thing on the bottom with captured on PC. Because like it's always been a thing at like E3 and all those big events that they were running on a PC and not on a console. Right. So now they're just like, now it's there.
Just so you know, so you're not confused. When you go on, I want to go to McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. Like, just so you know, it's not what you would. Like, I thought the game was supposed to look like this on a PC. Right, we didn't say on this. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you see that Big Mac on the menu? You don't like that. It looks like this. Still like good. This. It looks like this though.
Are those squares in my Big Mac?
Oh man, we're so funny, man. We're so funny. That's why you should rate this podcast 5 stars, man. That's exactly the reason why, right there.
So yeah, the companies like Sony have that kind of choice, right? For the rumor conversation that we had toward the end of last year, with the RAM shortage that is happening, it is possible that the next generation of consoles could be delayed, as we talked about. Do you think this delay could happen? Now, people on our threads blowing it up.
Right? They went crazy. That's like one of the ones that I was one of the top recent messages, answers that we've been getting. So shout out to y'all that were answering that and like putting your opinions out on there. You had some good opinions on there, but they mostly gathered around one thing.
What was that?
That third option.
Good.
Delay it. You don't need it.
The childish Gambino, the Donald Glover meme.
Right.
Good. Good.
I'm gonna put that in here. Like, so I'm gonna put that GIF in there. So.
Good. So even for a couple comments, like say Nerd Pixels at the top, I say good. They ain't even properly tapped into the current gen. Just answered your question. From a little bit ago. They haven't even tapped into the current gen potential yet, so I'm not in a rush. My PS5 Pro will do me well into the 2030s. Ooh.
2030s. They're talking about a good 5+ years from now. 4+ years from now.
And so 5+, 30s.
Oh, 30s.
So you're
30s.
supposed to be expecting to play your PS5. Right, you expect you to play your PS5 in 2032? Okay.
Hey man, if you're cleaning it right, you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do.
Now here's the thing. Shout out to Not Dirk Strider. In our comment section, when we talk about the sudden tradition of 7-year cycles, consoles used to last decades apart. We need at least another 5 years or so before they can think about another new console. This current generation is weak compared to 8+ years I spent playing on a PS4. There have been a couple of bangers, sure, but I wish this was current gen. I wish this was current gen, had more to offer, because there's still plenty of potential left, as say the last comment.
And they have a point. Because I've been hearing that, but that's been happening a lot recently. Like, I don't want to say recently, more like last year, the year before. A lot of people saying this is the worst console generation. For exclusives, I can say that. I can understand for exclusives, I can understand that. But like, I don't know about the word console generation. The worst generation is kind of crazy, but for exclusives, I could see what they're coming from. Because I remember the PS4 and the PS2 library, even the PS3 library, they had a lot of stuff in there, a lot of heat in there. PS5, the exclusive library is not looking too deep as like the other ones. You know what I'm saying? So
no, it's not. It's not nothing to write home
for
about.
exclusives, I could definitely see where people are coming from with that. But like for consoles, no, I'm not gonna say that. But for the exclusives, yes, I can see. This is probably one of the worst generations we've had for exclusives.
Mr. Green 315 said, "Good. We're 5 years in, and little to show for it." That got 51 likes. Go ahead, Mr. Green 315. Everybody agrees with Mr. Green 315. You know, 51 likes. Wav3y rules 87. I'd rather they optimize games that make the most realistic. Oh, I'd rather they optimize games than make the most realistic games. And that's the conversation, right? We're talking about whoever set the expectation that we suddenly wanted to. And I guess you could say it's a little bit privileged. Some of the games, like for me, Assassin's Creed 2, the Assassin's Creed series was a good standard, especially that was running on PS3. The graphic trailer for Assassin's Creed 2, it was like a movie, right? Other games that have come out now, especially we're talking about like Last of Us on PS4, PS5 ports, so it looks shinier. But the thought that we need to have games where, I know we joke about it, where you're playing the game and you see a bead of sweat roll down the pores on their face. I wasn't necessarily looking for that. That's great.
That's good to see, but like,
But y'all can slow it down a little bit. But because, something else too, in the optimization of these games is when they put out the trailers, and the trailers look like full-on movies. And you play the game and look like Minecraft. No shade to Minecraft. No shade to Minecraft. No shade to Minecraft.
No shade at all,
Minecraft is fun, for what it is. But guess what? Minecraft tells you what it is from the jump.
Also very true. Yes, they do let you know what's in there from the jump. So that's also very true. They don't really kind of lie to you. They're not like the Big Mac picture.
Shout out to when you see display food and then you get the food,
you're like, what is this? What is this? I did not order this. What is this? Excuse me, what is this?
I won't eat this no more. But hey, shout out to fast food workers too. Got to make it.
Man, shout out to fast food workers.
Crank it out. Got to crank out the food fast. I'm just
right.
saying. Kiss me sunlight. Said there's zero reason to start a new gen for 2 to 3 years. It would be best to optimize games for what we have now. If anything, optimization for lower spec hardware for current and portable hardware would be smart, especially ARM hardware. If Valve's work on FX gets as good as Proton is.
Interesting. Okay.
And like you said, generally the consensus is good.
Yeah.
And even just more suggestions of improve on what we already have.
For the most part. Even I see one, I think the first comment we got on that is from Syndicate Division. Nice name. That's a very clever name. Said that's okay. This generation should be the quote unquote last, and start implementing what PCs do and just upgrade the current system. Kind of like what the N64 did with the jumper pack. I can see how that could work for certain games. We sort of on this podcast many times before. I don't know about like a console though. Well, it can. I want to work for a console because console is, like I said before, it's mainly for people that want to game in the living room. They want to plug and play. They want to do all the technical stuff, technical nerdy stuff. With PCs, you're selling it to somebody that wants to take it apart. They want to add more stuff to it to make it be the beast that it should be. Consoles is not like that. Now, if you want to do that, you can. Probably shouldn't, but you can do that. So like I said, I don't think that could possibly work with a console. Because not marketed like that anyway. Because like the general like public who gets consoles, they're not looking for them like that. They just want to have it so they could just put in their living room. They could play it. That's it. They're not looking to like tear it apart and do all that stuff that the technical nerds is trying to do. The PC people are trying to do. So
right. Keep it simple, especially for consoles. It's not that
right.
deep.
That's my opinion on that though. So I don't know what you think about that, Frosty.
No, I agree with that. I think shout out to people on Threads, and I don't know if we got any comments on like Blue Sky or anything like that, but shout out to y'all for anybody who's also engaged us all across all social media. You guys are great. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is science lesson. For people that you probably can just Google it, and AI will probably just tell you in general. Again, shout out to AI that now bum rushes you on search engines without you asking.
Everywhere.
Shout out to Tony for his funny skit on that. Components used to create RAM: silicone, copper, aluminum, and dopants like boron and arsenic. Right. So, off the top, silicone, second most abundant element on Earth's crust, 29.5% of the overall composition of the planet. Basically sand. So we won't ever really run out of that, unless something happens and glass is all sand in the Sahara
If we
desert.
run out of sand, then just throw the whole Earth away. Throw the whole Earth away. Like, I don't want to live here anymore.
We're cooked if we run out of sand, bro. Cooked. The other component is aluminum. Most abundant metal on Earth, 8% of the crust. Available in mass quantities or require significant energy to extract from bauxite. Copper, a finite resource. While there are large quantities in the Earth's crust, high concentrations deposits are being depleted, forcing mining to move to lower grade ores. However, it is highly recyclable, with about 1/3 of the global supply currently coming from recycled resources. Give your old PCs up! Give them up! That's half your problem is you get a new computer and you move your old computer to your mama basement. That's resources sitting in your mama basement.
That's also very true. And most people just keep the old PC and they just upgrade it. It's upgraded every year.
But that's fine. I'm talking about the ones that are not doing anything.
Are people not doing that?
No, not doing anything. Like you have your old computer, just unplugged,
just laying around.
That's one thing. If you had a computer and you're like, I've been updating this since 1990.
That's kind of crazy.
Of course, that's not possible. I mean, no, that's very possible.
You're probably right. I don't think it's possible. I don't think
please, if somebody could come on, if somebody can in the comment section right now on YouTube or a podcast or whatever that says, I've had this computer since 1990 and I have added components and improved it for the last.
Bro, if you can run a 95 computer,
no,
run Horizon on there, that's kind of.
Like if you opened it up and improved the contents where you basically look at it and it still looks like a computer from like 1990, like the tower, like we used to have in high school, and you open it up and it's all the components from today. It's probably retro looking computers.
I'll be very interesting to see. I really want. I'm gonna put this. I want someone to see. I want to see something. I want to see if someone can answer this in the comment section. That wherever this is gonna go up, if y'all could find us a CPU from like the 90s or early 2000s that has the current parts in it and can run like a great game one. I don't even know if that's possible, but if y'all can find it, y'all let us know. I'd want to see that.
The upkeep on it has been just so pristine that it runs. It doesn't even have to be. No, we're not saying runs Assassin's Creed 1. Even if it runs something like something that was popular in the 90s, or even just like good enough like Pong or something like that, and it just runs optimally, great. That'd be interesting to see. But you kept up the maintenance on it so good that this is not a concern for you right now.
It would be interesting to see. I'll say that.
But right now, like for me, I have a laptop that is just collecting dust in my mom's. It was an old laptop, long before this one. And then there's a few, so I know what it means when we're talking about older computers that older laptops, people that just stop working and people hold on to them. They don't necessarily know where to deposit them at any computer centers, where they don't know where to take them, basically. Between that and the part of the conversation forcing mining to move to lower grade ores. So again, imagine copper probably being not as strong, which then lends to needing to burn through more resources to put it together because the ore that's made isn't as strong as it could have been, I know it's encouraging, I've said, for iPhone. At least I can speak for iPhones. I don't know about necessarily like other phones like Android family phones, but for iPhones, it's encouraged that you hand in your older phones.
Oh, it's encouraged?
Yeah, generally. If you had a previous generation of, they'll give you money back.
Oh yeah. They always promote that.
If you have older phones, you give somebody an iPhone 1 and be like, what can I give you? A thank you. What you mean? Like, oh, I got an iPhone. I think we're at the current generation is like 16. It was like give 15, you probably get like $200. What if I get for my iPhone 4? A firm head nod.
You get a head nod, and finally. If you saw an iPhone 4, you are officially a PS4 nigga. If you had an iPhone 4 and you just not turning it in.
What'd you say about the iPhone 4?
Huh?
What'd you say just now?
If you got an iPhone 4 and you just not turning it in for a new one, you are officially a PS4 nigga. Like that's what it is, man. You just like, I'm on this phone I'm gonna use it forever and ever and ever. I don't care what nobody says. Like, and I commend them for that.
I'll compare it to like a PS2, not a PS4. PS4 is still functional, and the PS2 is still functional too. Technically,
it is still functional, but the thing is that you're not playing. You can't play like a Horizon.
Good.
PS2.
I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm minding my business. You know what I'm saying? Like playing Jack 2. Playing what else on PS2? Pick a goat. On PS2.
Pick one, man. Like I need more platformers, man. That's why I need more platformers to come out, man.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple coming out, but.
Yeah,
I just want like these games to be a little more creative. I mean, there's a lot of creative games out there now, a lot of them. Yeah. I just honestly want more platformers. I want more platformers coming out.
There's some indie, like I saw some YouTube.
There's a couple indie ones too,
dedicated to indies. Like
there's a couple indie platformers. Yeah, most definitely.
But, shout out to the more indies that are coming out. You know where they're leaning towards? More games like the side scroller.
The Metroidvanias and stuff like that. A lot of them. They've been like ever since like I think probably 2 years ago. Like the Metroidvanias gotten real popping. Like the 2D Metroidvanias, they getting real popping. I don't know what like started that phase, but most of them are actually they do look really good. So, I mean, if I find me a good Metroidvania, I'll play it. I like side scrollers. Like I said, I like platformers. That's where I started my journey at. Platformers, sports games. That's where I started my journey. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I loved Astro Bra when it came out. Give me some more of those. Like, I loved Mario Odyssey. I loved Odyssey. I think it's one of the best Marios that came out.
Desert Skies. But Paper Mario, we're not talking to you.
That's RPG. Yeah, right. That's a turn-based.
Yeah.
I like how shout out to Husky when you say that, I want you to say to me after that. After you say that.
To you. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That's mad funny.
So final point for key takeaways for the resources that is overall part of the conversation about the overall shortage. These resources that I mentioned above, they don't replenish. Once they're mined and dispersed, these elements do not return to their concentrated, mineable state within a human lifespan. Right? Mm-hmm. I'd really be curious. That's another conversation on, especially on science and nerdy. Anybody wants to comment? Actually, how do rocks reform? Like how do they regrow back if they grow back? And answers. If there's an answer, I'd be interested to hear it. Silicon and aluminum are so abundant that depletion is not a concern, while copper is more susceptible to supply bottlenecks. And so now you need that. The copper, which was a conductor. So we're running through probably copper when we're talking about building the AI centers. And what do they need to power them, Jones, to cool them down? Water. So.
Oh yeah, I did hear about the water cooling systems is starting to go up in price too, actually, for PCs. Look, I did hear about that. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. They do need the water to cool them down.
But guess who also needs water?
Us.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna run my AI center and burn all my water. What about you?
Yo, I was just that data center. This data center thing, man, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy, and it's like I feel like we're inching towards that subscription-based model for everything now. Even for like RAM and stuff like that, GPUs. I feel like they're gonna start doing that for all this kind of stuff now. Like, and maybe the subscription-based model started being a thing for always been a thing, but it started getting a little real crazy once Netflix started popping off. Then everyone started making on streaming service, and then of course Game Pass came along and everything, and then that kind of forced PlayStation saying to make their own like kind of Game Pass or PS Plus Premium and Ultimate and all that kind of whatever. I forget what it's called. Yeah, so I feel like it could be doing the same with this RAM and GPUs and this stuff in the future. And I feel like no one's gonna own anything at that point.
You get to a point where it'd be like one computer per household, and we'll be back to Mom, get off the phone. I'm trying to get on the internet.
You're trying to put us back in the dark times, huh?
No more. You got your own. Everybody got devices in the house or whatever. I could be down to 2 devices. We're gonna be back to the 90s. Oh yeah, one computer use per day, 2 hours. All right, get off the computer. I need to use it to surf and get some stuff from Shein.
And these kids go out of their mind if that happens. They'll go out of their mind if they can't be on the iPad for the whole day.
The full reverse ejectocito, cuz you about to be back to having to go outside and whatnot.
Ejectocito. Yeah, shout out to Fast and Furious, man.
Yeah, that meme that
ejectocito, cuz.
Yes, is iconic. But recycling is crucial because these materials are not renewable. The replenishment of these materials relies on recycling, used electronics, and infrastructure rather than natural geological processes. Hand those old computers in, please.
They could help. They could definitely help, man.
Help me. Help me. Help you. Hand them old computers in. Hand on those old consoles. Well, the ones that you aren't using that use those materials.
Word.
But yeah.
See, I just got a whole Dr. Stone lecture just now.
Ooh! Shout out to
I compared that to anime. That's right.
It's valid.
Shout out to the last season coming up soon too. Actually.
I still need to get back on the anime, but I've seen enough of it to understand what you're saying. Getting back to the resources and making stuff from hand. Anyway, from the ground up, no technology.
Exactly.
But look, before we keep burning through this technology, because we need to preserve these computers and microphones that we're using to talk to you guys, because we use too much, we're gonna need new versions as well, and everything's gonna go up. That's a wrap. on this episode of the podcast, be sure to search for us anywhere on the internet at Fukaname, Phucaname. Check out all of our available content across all platforms. I've been your host, Frosty Phoenix. Catch me across the web, doing voice acting things, doing content things, and all the other things that people do on the internet. FROSTYPHENIX. Squad, close out with your socials.
What's goody? What's goody, y'all? Thank y'all tuning in for another episode of Fuka Pod. We really appreciate it. Of course, y'all hearing the voice of Wavy God. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can follow me on Twitter. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. Instagram at WAVIIGAWD_. And on Twitter, you can find me over WAVII_GAWD. Of course, the sneaker lover, anime watcher, video game player. And, you know, I did cop a pair of new sneakers recently. You know, I went to, you know, Orlando got like mad clearance stores. So I went to the clearance stores and I just got me a pair of some Nike SB Dunk Low Pros. They fit me nicely too. So I'm hyped to wear them. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, y'all can just find us over with Fukaname everywhere. All our socials. You know what I'm saying? Rate the podcast 5 stars, like I said, on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. Of course, y'all like the videos when we putting them up on YouTube. We're going to put more content, giving more content to you guys. Like the clips wherever you see them. You know what I'm saying? And just catch us.
Help you.
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Just catch us being real wavy. You know what I'm saying? And being the best at anything.
That being said, catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.